So thank you again for tuning into my channel. If you find this information helpful, please share it, hit that like button, and subscribe. Thank you. So in this video, we're going to go through a couple of ways to effectively activate and strengthen your serratus anterior muscle. A lot of us know that the serratus anterior plays a big role with scapular stabilization and good shoulder health overall. Now, if you took the time to read the accompanying article in the description for this video, then you'll know of a couple more reasons why I feel this muscle is so important to keep healthy and strong. To effectively strengthen this muscle, we need to know the actions that it performs. So we're going to go through that really quickly. Shoulder blade protraction is the most commonly known action of the serratus anterior. That is when that shoulder blade glides forward along the rib cage. We call that protraction. Now, one of the other key actions is going to be that upward rotation of the scapula. So when you flex your shoulder up, that shoulder blade is going to upwardly rotate, wrapping around your rib cage. So that's the serratus anterior doing a lot of that work. This muscle also helps with posterior tipping of that shoulder blade. So we say this is the shoulder blade. When your shoulder sometimes rolls forward, it's going to peel off that rib cage, and that's anterior tipping. So posterior tipping is going the opposite way. So this muscle helps keep that back end of the shoulder blade down on the rib cage. And another action that it helps with is torso rotation. Of course, we mentioned in the article that it's also an accessory muscle to breathing. So it helps with some rib elevation and rotation. So when you breathe, you're going to be activating that serratus anterior a little bit. So we know the actions that this muscle performs, but it's also really important to know when this muscle is actually contracting the most. Some studies have shown that in order to get proper activation out of that serratus anterior, we need more than just protraction, but the arm angle is absolutely key. So we need to actually bring that arm up past an 80-degree point so that we can start to fully get that spectrum of the serratus anterior. So I like to perform things usually at about a 90-degree angle or above to get that scapular upward rotation to properly activate this muscle. So now that we have all those actions down, let's get to the movements. We're going to start things off with a scapular wall glide. This is an excellent movement to begin with so that you can start to feel that muscle and activate it properly. We're going to start off by facing the wall. You're going to place your hand against it, so you can use a flat palm or you can use the blade of your hand. It doesn't matter that much. I'm going to actually keep my forearm off the wall so only the hand is touching. This is going to give me some feedback so that I can apply a little bit of pressure to get some good activation out of the serratus. So what I like to do with this is I like to take my hands, place it right into that armpit area along the rib cage so that I can feel those muscles flicker and fire up when I'm actually activating properly. So I'm going to place my hand onto that wall. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure into the wall. So I'm not trying to crush the wall, just a little bit. We're going to start to feel that flicker and fire up of that serratus anterior under there. So from here, what does the serratus anterior do? It's protracting, providing that upward rotation of the scapula. So let's do that. Here we go. I'm going to drive forward with that elbow. As I'm doing that, with that little bit of pressure into the wall, I'm going to start that upward rotation of the scap. As I'm doing that, I add a little bit of torso rotation. There's another action that we've got. Going to get right up to the top of that movement. We're going to have some posterior scapular tipping. I'm going to take a nice breath. There we go. We're getting that rib activation in, and then I'm slowly going to come back down. So again, I'm not crushing the wall. I'm just gliding up nice and easy with it. So now as I'm performing this movement, I'm thinking of that protraction of the shoulder. So I'm driving from the elbow forward to get that protraction. And I really want to think of that upward rotation of the scapula. That's absolutely key to get full activation of this muscle. So to get that, I'm actually thinking of scooping that shoulder blade up and around the rib cage as I lift and extend that arm. The exercise that I like to use to strengthen this muscle was spawned from Eric Cressy's bottoms up kettlebell carry. It is my absolute favorite to hit that muscle. I don't think that anything really does it better. I like to perform this movement from a half kneeling position, but you can do it from a standing position if you'd like to as well. So the setup for this exercise is, again, we want to have the head, shoulder, hips, and knees all stacked over top of one another. Make sure you're getting good glute engagement as well as keeping that core nice and cinched up. So we're going to take that kettlebell and we're going to place it in the upside down position. So the weight distribution on top is great because it prevents you from cheating. Make sure that that wrist stays absolutely straight, the elbow doesn't flare out. If any of those things happen, so the wrist breaks or the elbow flares, that bell is going to fall. You know you're not doing it right. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to start with driving that elbow forward, getting that shoulder protraction. Now I'm upwardly rotating that scapula, thinking of scooping it in that upward rotation. I'm constantly thinking of driving forward with that elbow and driving that scap up. So again, scooping that shoulder blade. We're going to pause here. So I'm getting that elbow about 90 degrees or slightly above. I got a slight torso rotation, and of course I'm breathing. So we're going to do about a 5 to 10 second hold, and then we're slowly going to reverse that. So all of those actions that we talked about before in the other exercise, we're getting with this movement, except now it is loaded. So initially I like to just start off with a 90-degree hold, but as you start to get stronger and more comfortable, you can start to play with the different angles through that shoulder flexion spectrum so that you're getting all of the different fibers in that serratus anterior. If you don't have a kettlebell, not to worry, you can perform the same movement using resistance bands, so whether it's a large loop band like this one or a standard resistance band with a handle, either one's going to work. This is actually a really cool variation because the band might vibrate a little bit and give you a little bit more of a stability challenge with it. So the way that you would want to do this, so again from half kneeling position, you're just going to place that one band under that downed knee. I'm going to go again with the opposite leg forward. So from here, I'm hooking just the thumb into the handle. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because if you grip the handle fully, you're going to press your arm into that band and it's going to be really easy to cheat that out. When we have the band hooked into the thumb only and it's on the inside, this is almost like a guide for you because you have to keep that arm locked against the band. If you start to get space there, then you're cheating, you're not doing it right. So you're going to grip a hold of that handle, so again thumb only, keeping the band on the inside of that arm, cinch it up, the exact same thing. We're driving forward with that elbow, thinking of scooping that shoulder in that upward rotation. Once again, we're going to do that pause for your 5 to 10 seconds and slowly back down. Once again, thanks so much for watching the video, guys. I hope that you found it helpful, and please share it if you did.